So with all the leaks coming about of the next iPhone SE 4 or the iPhone SE Plus, it's actually pretty insane to me how well of a job Apple did with the iPhone XR, and pretty much looking forward to the rest of the lineup. It's crazy that Apple is going to be recycling this next, design, essentially this older design, and it's going to make it pretty much, I think, the next few years. I mean, I would imagine that if Apple's going to spend this much money on the next iPhone SE design, they are probably going to do exactly what the iPhone SE 2020 did, 2 years ago, where they're going to continue replicating the iPhone XR design and continuing to sell it as the iPhone SE 4 or the iPhone SE Plus. And this just kind of solidifies to me a little bit further of how the iPhone XR was a masterpiece of not only that price tag of what they did, but also it was kind of a win-win for everybody. Apple made a cheaper device and they were able to make a bunch of money off of it. And that specific lineup, with the iPhone XR has held the test of time. Now it's evolved and, it wasn't really just like the iPhone XR that was new, but you have to remember that before that with the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, whenever Apple went ahead and dropped two devices at one time, they were primarily, making a mid-tier and then a flagship. But it wasn't even like that. It was just a smaller of a phone and a bigger of a phone depending on the size. But when they made the iPhone XR, they weren't really doing that. They were just trying to make a good budget phone for those type of people. And that's why when I looked at the iPhone XR at the time, I wasn't that big of a fan of it, but now I totally understand what they were doing. They were trying to go ahead and make this next generation of the device where they can still sell it while they're still selling the Pro and Pro Max models. And their main goal of the most part was to focus on the Pro and Pro Max models, make the XR type of device not as good, and hopefully people will go and upgrade and buy the Pro and Pro Max. That ended up not being the case until this specific year. I think this year, potentially we could see the Pro and Pro Max models actually end up outselling the base iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Plus. But it took a few years from Apple to actually kind of get into the situation. And I want to call it kind of a laddered approach where with the 14 and 14 Plus, those specific price tags are so close to the Pro and Pro Max, you might as well just buy those. The XR at the time was a little bit different. They dropped at $749. And I will say that was the only issue I would say for the price tag of the iPhone XR. They should have made that phone $699 from the get-go. They still sold a bunch of them, but I feel like the impact of that iPhone could have been very similar to the iPhone 11. The 11 was probably the most perfect iPhone Apple has ever made, I would say, when combined with the price tag and everything like that. And with the iPhone XR, I will say that device, although it still has, pretty much maybe like another 2 years or 3 years of software, that theory and that design, not only is the design probably going to be replicated with the next generation iPhone SE, but the legacy behind that iPhone and the features you're getting from that iPhone still actually hold up quite well, which is actually pretty insane. So I think the XR is a masterpiece, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about this as well. Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.